Hey everybody, bit of a zany run we just came off, but here we are back playing some Isaac. Simple randomizer. Which one are you? Not $ eyeballs. Your regular keeper? Is that correct? That's a nightmare. I think that's a nightmare. I think this is very bad. On the bright side, expectations pretty low. On the not so bright side, oh my god, they're low for a reason. Whoa, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna sneak right by you if you don't mind. So what the heck? Okay, we got 3 HP now. That's better than it used to be. I can't believe we didn't get hit by anything on that room. That's actually insane. Now that I think about it, we can technically go to a curse room. Now that we got 3 HP, it's less of a like a 50-50 chance to just die. Alright. It wasn't necessarily the best return on our investment there, but that's okay. I'm trying to think. What do we need? HP is not as precious because of the... And wait, doesn't the Keeper buy deals with the devil now instead of, like, trading his very limited HP for them? That's, you know, there's something to that. We could make something happen there. So we want to get a lot of money. And we also want to get a trinket that allows us to create money on demand or every time we get hit. That seems okay. Now for the beast, Humbling Bundle is non-negotiable. If we can get it, we must. That will be like a colossal benefit. But really, it's kind of like playing as Tainted Lost, but on super easy mode, which is still fairly difficult. But we want to... Oh, that's good. That would have found the secret room, I'd like to assume. I gotta think about this one. Basically, we just want a way to create HP on demand. Not enough to get to infinite, just enough to survive. So, I really don't want to pick up money until we get Humbling Bundle, but I also recognize we might not get Humbling Bundle unless we pick up all this money. So you can see the conundrum and the caveat. I think realistically, we're probably just going to have to blow this up and hope for the best. That seems like enough. But only go up to 15. There you go. Because then you buy this, you walk out, you walk back in. That's good that they fixed that, because, like, that was a real problem on 1 in, like, 700 runs, where you could accidentally... Look, I'm not... maybe drinking a little too much haterade early here. Just strikes me as one of those things that really wasn't that big of a deal, that you could, you know, very short-term abuse Humbling Bundle ever so slightly to get... I mean, some might call it a disproportionate benefit, don't get me wrong. But, like, the whole game doesn't need to be balanced around the donation machine. That's just simply my opinion. You might say that that's not correct, but... It's my personal 2 cents is that it's, you know, a game you don't necessarily need to balance around, like, one very, very minor aspect of itself, but I'm not a game designer. What do I know? Now, maybe, again... We're closing in on the first double-digit streak in quite some time. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, not trying to cause any problems or whatever. Just a little bit annoyed because I felt like financially we'd be in a better position, but that's okay. Life goes on. Long after the thrill of living is gone. You know what I'm talking about? John Cougar Mellencamp, I think, sucking on chili dogs outside the Tasty Freeze. Well, I'm not going to play a unit... or a gambling emporium most likely to give me HP with my hard-earned money. What I will do, on the other hand, is play this blood bank, which is different for reasons. Okay, here's another thing. Certainly that'll be fixed at some point. When you pick up a double penny, only gave me 1 penny of HP. What's up with that? I'm just trying to make sure that everything's consistent here. I mean, you seem to be the one so concerned with making sure everything in the game makes coherent sense. So where's my HP, man? Where the heck is my HP? It might strike you as petty. I'm just trying to get what, you know, what I bargained for. All right. Anyway, I'm having a good time playing Isaac lately. Just a couple of very, like, legitimately minor things there. It's okay. It happens. Nice free. Okay, probably not going to touch those, but it's the thought that counts. I will pick that up for certain. Thank you so much. That's pretty good. We still get... Okay, well that gives us all our HP, so I'll take that. Of course, you can rely on 2 cents to fill 2 pennies worth of HP. 2 pennies, on the other hand, absolutely not, unless you pick them up in series instead of in parallel. Maybe I'm going in a little too hard. You know, it is what it is. So I'm going to open this up. That seems very good. Again, I'm under the impression that we get the opportunity to buy Deals with the Devil with money. I bet you could sneak through there. If you had infinite time, I bet you could sneak through there. How so? I feel like you could find the seam. I feel like there's a non-zero chance. I mean, like, if our bullets can make it through there, then obviously there's a gap in the hitbox. We're probably too big to fit through. It's a common problem. It happens to lots of guys. Allegedly. I wouldn't know. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get in there, but, you know, a single bomb can change that pretty quickly. We got to go to our shop, too. I got to remember, like, for all the goofing around we've done here, and for as good as this run is, and it's pretty good, there's a couple of engines for, like, reliable victory as the regular version of the Keeper. One of them is Nun's Habit, one of them is Swallowed Penny, one of them is Piggy Bank, and, you know, if you can get them in any combination thereof, it just gives you that much more extra protection. Okay, this seems pretty great. After taking damage 15 times, Isaac gains a permanent demon familiar. Sure. I definitely think Succubus is also good. Little Apollyon, I'm not so sold on. But certainly, Succubus is great. And I think that Cambion Conception, like, I could see us taking damage. Probably to the surprise of no one. Yeah, we really got to get, like, Nun's Habit. In that way, like, I really think member rewards might actually be, like, one of the best items we could get. Or members only, whatever the heck the item is called. Pills, on the other hand, not so much. So remember, we're going to be trying to go... I mean, I'm apologizing for getting all tactical with you here with Isaac, but we are playing a character for whom it benefits us. And we're fighting the Beast. The Beast is not Ubermom. Mom is Ubermom. Mother is Ubermom. One of these days, I'll remember the names of the bosses that I fight every single time. I don't know if that day will be today, but some point, surely, in the future. Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, how am I doing? I'm doing well, thank you for asking. It's been a heck of a week, as has been mentioned. But, baby recovering well. I'm pretty much 100% recovered. Ooh, can't resist. So we get store key for free. Nothing wrong with that. Wife came down with the same thing that we've got, but is, you know, recovering faster than both of us. I'm trying not to take that personally. And otherwise, just, you know, kind of like... The worst is when you... Well, I mean, like, let's be honest. The worst is when you're actually sick. But the second worst position you could be in is wondering if you're gonna be sick. Like, you feel a tickle in your throat. Like, it's so easy for denial to just get the better of you. And then you start thinking, like, oh, like, we can't be sick. If we get sick, the baby will probably get sick. The baby will have to get pulled out of daycare so she doesn't make all the other kids sick. You know, and you just play it forward in your head, and you're like, oh, these are all the things that are, like, gonna go wrong if we're actually under the weather. But once you're sick and it's undeniable, okay, what a shot. Congrats. Thank you. Once you're sick and it's undeniable, you can stop living in the hypothetical, and instead you could just accept it and be like, okay, what are we going to do about it? That's where we're at right now, where instead of being like, you know, oh, you know, it's a lot of extra work when you're not in a position to necessarily feel up to doing it because you're under the weather to begin with, you know, instead of having to envision that, you're actually living it. There's something very stoic about it, you know? They say when you're... I mean, this is, like, a misattributed quote, like I'm just making this up, but basically, like, if you ever read a foundational work of Stoicism, like, you know, the Enchiridion, sure, we'll take, obviously, or obviously, like, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, that's an item we're exactly looking for, fantastic, or, what's the word, what am I talking about, the letters from Epictetus to, I forget. One of the elders or one of the youngers. Anyway, like I said, I'm very well versed in this stuff. Sure, why not? If you ever read that, like, every second chapter is basically like, dude, we're so lucky. Every second chapter is basically like, don't be afraid to die, because every time you imagine that you die, you died. And it's kind of like, it's a little deep, right? That's kind of how I feel about a lot of things, but certainly how I feel about, you know, this period of extended virus going around. Not COVID, but, you know, RSV or rotavirus or whatever the heck is going on. But help me. Okay, saved. It's like, you know, being well is the best. Being sick is the worst. But imagining how bad it would be if you were sick is almost closer to sickness than wellness, but maybe that's too much of like a giga-brain take. Certainly, I could forgive you for thinking it. All right, a second range upgrade, pretty important. Oh, a mom transformation. I was joking about the range upgrade being important, but I won't turn up my nose at a mom transformation. Of course, one of the great things about being forced to go to the true ending is that if things go fast enough, you actually can get the boss rush and escape, which is kind of what I'm angling towards right now. But yeah, so we're just, you know, working through it. A lot of Sesame Street, man. Watching a lot of Sesame Street. And that show, I gotta tell you, I also watched some Peppa Pig today. Without insulting Peppa Pig, because I know it's like a beloved show for sure. Probably some of the people watching this maybe grew up a little bit with it. But Sesame Street beats the freaking pants off of Peppa Pig. Like, an episode of Peppa Pig is like 8 seconds long, and it also has the worst theme song of all time. Peppa Pig. Like, it's actually just a nightmare. They just repeat that like 16 times. I hate it. I guess I'll try. Nope. Sesame Street's got, you know, sunny day, taking the clouds away, on my way to where the air is sweet. I mean, there's a lot of slappers on Sesame Street. When Elmo sings Letter of the Day, oh man. I mean, when Abby sings it, it's okay, but when Elmo sings it, it's actually like 10 out of 10. No disrespect to Abby, but like, I mean, I'm sure there's a little bias. I grew up in the Elmo days. Abby is very new to me. She's probably only been on the show for like 20 years. So there's something about the Elmo stuff just hits a little differently for me, I gotta admit. But watched a lot of Sesame Street, man. Learned a lot of letters, learned a lot of numbers. I learned how to make tacos. You won't believe this. Cookie Monster and Gonger were making some. You can look it up. It's a real Muppet. They were making tacos. They were almost ready to make them. Cookie Monster ate the hard taco shells before they finished making them. So, like, what are they supposed to do? Serve like a deconstructed taco salad? You're not serving a taco salad to like an 8-year-old who specifically ordered tacos. That's terrible customer service. So they had to go to the hard shell taco factory, and this dude made them some extra hard shell tacos. Like, it ended up all being okay. I know you're probably concerned that maybe it went terribly wrong. It didn't. Everything went fine. Don't worry about it so much. Hey, with Piggy Bank, are we good to just play this? That's kind of sick, huh? Yeah, we should, and maybe like, excuse me? Maybe we'll do the confessional as well. Maybe it has a cap on the number of times you can do it per room. Holy Mantle. That would be lovely. We don't really need to fight you. That's for sure. What is this? Angel item? Possibly? Nope. 100% chance for 7 troll bombs. Probably skip you on that one. We do have Holy Mantle, so everyone just chill out for a second here. I know this looks slightly spicy. This should pay out. I'm not upset. I'm upset at myself, if anything, for assuming that that would give us some coins, but it is what it is. There's like, what, like 25 different possible spots for a secret room here? This is... It's crazy, man. It's too much. Don't lose sight of your boss rush potential either. One item, if it's specifically good enough for the keeper, can, like, you know, change the game for you here. Holy Mantle is like chief amongst them. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, that's basically it. Did React Court today. Played a little of No Plan B. Played a little Super Auto Pets, of course. Did some React Court, and looking forward to, you know, the rest of the week. Things gradually... excuse me, you pooped it out of your butt, too? I didn't know you could do that. I guess that's your champion variant. That's my mistake. You know, I'm going to take it. I thought we could hold 2. Oh, we're holding the Locust. Okay, give me one of these, then. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Slowly getting back to normal. Again, just enjoying being... As stressful as, like, you know, just things being all messed up because of illness is, at least we're at home and not trapped in a different country. Even if it isn't a different country that is, like, culturally very similar, it speaks the same language. You know, I could survive in the United States of America. It's not like, you know, if you drop me in, like, you know, the middle of Cameroon, I'm sure I might have some more problems just trying to figure out how the heck I can get things done. But still, you'd rather, you know, be at home. It's just always nice to sleep in your own bed, you know, use your own shower and stuff like that. I do have to say, like, piling onto this week, and this is mostly just humorous, but piling onto this week, we had a scare last night. We were about to go to bed. My wife checked her cell phone. She had a text from her mom in Korean that said, SOS, I'm in danger. Then her exact GPS location coordinates. Let's get out of here. And also 2 photos that clearly her phone had taken, like, in an emergency of the top of her head and the ceiling in, like, some kind of room, right? I'm not gonna play. 30 cents would be kind of sick, though. I'll let the coin decide. If I get a coin, I'll play. Okay, never mind then. Pretty spooky stuff, right? So, you know, we didn't immediately panic. You know, we kept a cool head, but we said, you know, oh my God, we should go figure out what's going on here. So we tried to call Kate's mom, and she didn't pick up. So then we were like, you know, let's call Kate's dad. They lived together. It was only like, you know, 10:30 or something like that at night. Figured there's a good chance they'd still be up. He didn't reply either. So we're like, okay, I mean, we'll call Kate's sister, see if she knows anything about what's going on. She probably is in bed because she works, like, insanely early in the morning. But, okay, called Kate's sister. She was in bed, didn't pick up. So we were like, okay, we'd, like, literally, it sucks that we're in this position, but we have to call 911. Like, we were entrusted with this message, even if it's a false positive. Like, that's not for us to say, right? Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Come on, man. Please. It's not gonna happen. Maybe they'll let us back in? Okay, never mind. That's heartbreaking. Good example of when to not take the Emperor card, by the way. Alright, stop interrupting the story. That's a very good point. Well, I'm gonna stop interrupting the story. Basically, right before we were about to call 911 and tell him to break down my mother-in-law's front door and figure out what the heck was going on, she texted my wife back and said, oh yeah, sorry about that. That was an accident. I tried to cancel it, but I guess it still went through. Apparently, we've now become aware of the information that on most modern smartphones, there is a security feature, and I understand the security feature, don't get me wrong. The security feature is, if you're in danger, maybe you've fallen, you can't get up, you've been kidnapped or something like that. Yes, please. Then you can press the lock button 3 times quickly, and it will send that, like, emergency SOS. It'll pull your location data, It'll take a photo to, I guess, try to give any possible context for the situation, and it'll say SOS, I'm in danger, and then send it out to like some kind of list of like most texted numbers or something, which will be really awkward if I ever have to do it for real, because like the DoorDash no reply service is gonna get like a really, really bizarre message. I don't know where it goes, if anywhere, but they're gonna be mighty confused. So I'm not, we were mostly like, don't get me wrong, my wife was a little upset, justifiably, but I was pretty understandable about it. I was like, you know, I get it can happen, and like I was laughing about it, but just hypothetically, it just, what I just wanted to say, because I can't help myself but say it, and I don't think we want that nightlight, man, it makes it like untenable on the final boss fight, unfortunately, is, hey, that's fine, like things happen. But if it were to happen again, and you thought you canceled it, but it didn't actually cancel, feel free to just annoy us and send us a text that says, hey, if you got a text that said I've been kidnapped, please ignore it. I meant not to send it. You might think that I would be, like, suspicious of that. I would not, quite frankly. I understand that a lot of people think that they live in, like an American true crime story where, like, you know, when they ever see, if they see the same person twice, like maybe they were in Canadian Tire and then like an hour later they were in Best Buy, if they see the same person twice, they're like, I'm definitely gonna get murdered. No, I'm more the kind of guy that's like, that's probably a dude who needed like a rake, and then his wife was like, hey, can you pick up an air fryer as well, you know? It happens all the time. Typically the stores tend to be, you know, in the same kind of like Ryokan Center, you know, strip malls and stuff like that. I would definitely be more inclined to assume that it was indeed an error. Anyway, so that was a nice little jolt of adrenaline right before bed, which is when adrenaline does some of its best work, I would say, for sure. Just, I mean, again, pretty much everything that's, like, happened to us this week has been relatively minor in a vacuum. It's not like we got, like, you know, an asteroid hit our house or anything like that, but certainly looking forward to things, hopefully, inevitably calming down at some point. I'm not saying we're at that point yet. I don't want to tempt fate, but it can't last forever. It's just too high of a saturation of insanity. So that's my anecdote, and I'm sticking to it. You think I think we probably want that. Let's think about this. That's Genesis. Like, Genesis is awesome. I'm gonna level with you, okay? I think it's more fun to do Genesis than it is to beat the alt path. I don't even remember what this does, man. Okay, that's right. For some reason, I always think that's the world. Yeah, remember, Genesis is the item that lets you draft one of 3 items for every item you've already got. So this is more of a situation where I'm genuinely just like, I'm gonna go for fun instead of going for difficulty. This will make it easier, because if you also don't remember, with Genesis, wow, I can't believe I got hit. You're forced to go to the cathedral. If you try to go down, I think this is right. If you try to go down, it will, just end your game. Like, you'll get one of the endings that you never see, which is like, you know, the game ends at the cathedral, or the game ends at Shoal, or whatever. So I think, if you, look, let me just be honest with you. If you think this is an inappropriate Hail Mary, feel free to let me know, and I'll tell you where most of those comments are probably gonna go. If you think it's more sensible to ignore one of the most rare and also fun items of the game in order to fight a boss that I think we just fought like 1 to 2 episodes ago, literally last episode, I think, then by all means, I understand where you're coming from. I defend to the death your right to say it, but I heavily disagree. So I think we're just gonna Genesis our way out of the boss fight after we fight the boss. We'll pick up the Polaroid. That should make it okay. There's no guarantee that we're actually going to get a better assortment of items. Like, this is a great run right here. The piggy bank is amazing. Our stats are okay. You know, we got Succubus, we got Cambion Conception, we got Holy Mantle. A lot of things that would actually make a Keeper run, like, pretty plausible to win. And also, in order to do this, we got rid of, like, the most important item the Keeper can ever have, which is the Crooked Penny. So, like, things are... We've maybe made a dire mistake here, but that's why this is so much more fun. And hey, if you have a problem with me foregoing the true ending, maybe there's something we could raise to the developers. They could stop making it so Genesis forces you into one specific path. But again, I'm not trying to invite that kind of evil into anybody's life either. Well, we should take 2 of these, because then we'll get the chance to re-roll them regardless. So it doesn't really matter what we take, as long as we take 2 things. So let's take this. Maybe we can get a stat upgrade that'll stick with us. Or a demon heart that'll just be like a couple of spiders, I guess. And, okay, now, this is where the fun begins. We got... Dude, they gave us Crooked Penny back. That's so huge. Okay, so, I mean, with Crooked Penny coming back... stop that. We're going to... Why do we know what these are? I'm stoked, don't get me wrong. We're gonna take this. We're definitely gonna take Nun's Habit. I would probably take Cricket's Body. This is a tough decision. No, not really. I would take the Mark. Again, a decision that would be tougher if we could have some flexibility with our spacebar, but plus 1.5 range up. Plus, I'm going to take just the damage, I think. Eye of Belial's really good, but, you know, we could also just take Mom's Knife. That gives us the piercing shots we so desire. Probably take Curse Canceling. Probably take Synth Oil. I don't really know what's going to happen here. I'll just take the Pencil. I got a little stun locked. I'll take a damage upgrade in, like, every circumstance. I'll take a Tears upgrade. I feel like it's way too late for Duality. We don't really care for Soul Hearts. I guess we'll take an Orbital. And I guess we'll make that Orbital slightly larger. I don't mind Bone Spurs, honestly. I don't know if it's the right fit for this run specifically. I guess we'll take Bumbo. Seems like a good fit for this character. Take a luck upgrade. A little damage upgrade, too. How's our shooting looking? Honestly, we could use a Tears upgrade. Oh, you gotta take Red Stew, man. And then just, like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out. I don't want any of this. What happened to my Crooked Penny? It's gone, man. I'm just picking up stuff at random now so I don't lose all my bonuses. I didn't realize if I picked up a spacebar item, it would take Crooked Penny from me. That's kind of a deal breaker, but I guess we're here now, so let's make the best of it. Okay, remember, if you don't need the money, Bumbo can use the money. Truth be told, the worst thing we could do is take damage because we're trying to make Red Stew work. Because Red Stew is like, is good, don't get me wrong, but we don't need Red Stew to survive. Like, we got we got Mom's Knife to begin with. We got a very strong run. There's just no need to get that precious about things. But certainly, like, again, without, you know, this is maybe at the risk of being comical, all of this stuff is amazing, but in the wrong situation, it does pale in comparison to just having the ability to get a 50% chance to get a coin, like at your leisure, which is very important. Now, I think we're gonna be, like, pretty fine. Coins are one of the most consistent drops in the game. Hopefully, like, that lasts, even in the potential irony, like, desire sensor levels, but also, dude, our Bone Spurs actually scale with damage, huh? I really thought that would hit you. I wasn't aware of that. But anything that scales... Oh, you piece. Anything that scales with damage is like a double-edged sword. Because obviously the more damage you has, the more damage you have, I like the idea here. The more damage you have, the better something is, but also the more damage you have, the less you actually need the damage from anything else. Because, like, you know, we have Mom's Knife plus all the damage in the world. So, like, our Flies doing extra damage is nice against the big bosses, and Bone Spurs doing extra damage is nice against the big bosses, but, you know, if they somehow got scrubbed from the run, I think it would also take us a long time to notice. I know I sucked up Guppy's head. I embraced that as a decision of Zane. It was a Zane-focused choice. Could do some interesting stuff with Void. Or, as is the typical case, we could hope to do some useful stuff with Void and never really get given the opportunity to do so. Which is zany in its own right, because it gives me a chance to complain. Hey, you know, lest you think I'm always breathlessly positive about every piece of trash TV I've ever seen, I gotta tell you something. Finished watching Tiger King Season 2. Like a lot of people, I very much enjoyed Tiger King Season 1 for a little bit of, like, you know, train wreck style, like, this is so insane I can't look away sort of content. Tiger King Season 2 is pure garbage. Do not waste your time. I'm not gonna say, like, don't support that drivel or something like that. I'm just like, legitimately, if you're like, oh, I've been looking for something to watch, maybe Tiger King Season 2 will fit the bill. I promise you that, on average, probably just about anything you find it will serve your interest better. It goes from a show about the insane charisma and, I don't know, like the world's most twisted P.T. Barnum in Joe Exotic to, like, a true crime documentary that, like, legitimately has no answers for anything. It's just like, hey, here's like 70 things that could have happened. It's it just focuses on like Joe Exotic, based on the show, which is all I can. I've never met him in person, believe it or not. I knew that was coming too. Doesn't strike me as like a good person at all, obviously. But the second season of Tiger King legitimately focuses on the worst human beings that have ever existed on planet Earth. That's obviously an exaggeration, but, like, not by as much as you would think. Like, the only thing that I think separates them from history's greatest monster is the fact that they only have a limited amount of power and influence. Like, there are multiple times in the show where, like, especially, like, one guy is just like, if you ever say another word to me ever again, I'll just kill you. And you're like, okay, I guess that's how you settle disputes when you're, like, a, you know, 60-year-old adult man. Is like, you know, you could use your words, try to come to an equitable solution, or you could just be like, hey, if you say anything else, I'm gonna make sure you die. You know, that's, there's just, like, some serious pieces of crap. To the extent that, like, you know, Joe Exotic he's a character, right? Like, Joe Exotic is kind of like the Joker. You're like, you're not really rooting for him, but it's hard to turn away. And then, like, to stick with the Batman metaphor, I'm pretty sure that the second season of Tiger King is like if they just threw, like, Ted Bundy into Batman. You would be like, just get this guy out of here. Stick him in Arkham Asylum, man. He's just, like, it's just unpleasant to be around. Anyway. So yeah, don't waste your time. Learn from my mistake. I know that this will cause some people to be like, the first season was garbage too. No, the first season there was an element of moral reprehensibility for watching it, but it was compelling television. There was not an episode of Tiger King where something that, you know, boggled your mind didn't happen. It happened every 15 minutes. Don't kid yourself. Season 2, though, Clearly, like, Season 2 seems like it was just made because they were like, you know, Season 1 is popular. We have to do this for profit-based reasons. Hopefully that's not what happens with Squid Game. I do kind of trust the talent behind Squid Game a little bit more than the Tiger King documentary filmmakers, but I suppose anything can happen. What do you think? Who would you bet on? The guy who spent 10 years shopping the concept for Squid Game or Joe Exotic? Leave your answers in the comments below, and I'll tell you where they're likely to go. Don't even try it, man. Okay, so, like, I'm feeling really good. Our damage is insane. Pencil and the knife work together. It's great news. He's getting surgical with it. We're gonna win. It's gonna take us to 10. And you might be upset that it ended up being just any old mom's knife run. Nah, man. You're missing out. It was a Genesis mom's knife run. It's very, very slightly different, enough to give me plausible deniability. Hey, did you see that excerpt from Will Smith's autobiography where he said after he broke up with his first girlfriend in high school for cheating on him, he had casual relations with so many women that he disgusted himself to the point of throwing up in the post-coital ecosystem? I have one thought about this, which is we have created a world in which celebrities have become too comfortable. Once you feel like so little shame, like he's not doing anything wrong, but once you have such you've divorced yourself so much from the concept of a sense of like privacy and shame, like you'll just say anything, man. If that had ever happened to me, which I assure you it has not, I'm just being real with you, I would take it to the grave with me. I would not, I'm not one of those people that harbors this idea that, you know, any secrets I have, which are, you know, if I have any, they're pretty mundane, but like, I'm gonna write it all down right before I die, and then like, finally get it out there when I pass away. Nah, man, that's all coming with me. Are you crazy? The time, I've already let one leak, that time I threw a moldy tangerine at my friend's head while he was sleeping. I should have left that one in the hopper as well, but even stuff that's on that level, it leaves this mortal coil with me. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. Will Smith, on the other hand, he's an open book. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. That was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!